Assalamu alaikum. Peace and welcome to a new discussion. Before I begin the discussion, I just wish to note that all of my opinions are my own, including the theological reflection. I am not sponsored by any corporations, entities, governments, or parties. I have no association, for example, with Nikon. I have no association with any corporate sponsors. I have no sponsorships. Basically, I just want to note that the following reflection on alien life and theology is my own, and no association with any companies, including Nikon or any other company. Everything I speak is my own opinion. Now we proceed. First of all, before we begin, this slide is entirely crafted by ourselves using images that we've cropped basically from our own astrophotography archive. Basically, we used very simple equipment, a very simple, relatively decent, but non-expensive tripod coupled with Nikon P1000, where we observed the planet Venus, and basically using both autofocus and manual focus settings, and basically when we properly manual focused our camera onto planet Venus, you see that's what you see on the right side of the slide, and on the left side was when we were just using the autofocus. But basically, I want to move on to my own conclusions about the possibility of basically UFOs and alien life. If there are beings, if there is higher intelligence beyond human life, it's not a matter of if, and I want to get to my theology aspect of this. I believe that the paradigm that can best explain the distribution of life in the universe created by God is the fact, basically I'm not going to say the fact, I believe that that supreme God, there is no God but Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created orders of life beyond human being in the Holy Scriptures. First of all, what we know that God has created is human beings. We know God created human beings. Okay? We know God created the animal order. Okay, so we know that God created the jinn, which I interpret not as any type of supernatural interdimensional being, but my understanding is they inhabit the same earth. Then there are angels and demons, but jinn can be good and bad, and jinn was great. Basically, the jinn, a life form, the life form was basically created, I believe, from a pure type of smokeless fire by God, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why can alien life be best explained by Islam? Because when you read, my friends, when you read the truth, the revelation, the pure final revelation, you read and understand that there is no God but God. There is none worthy of worship except for Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created many different worlds. The Quran describes God as the Lord of the seven heavens and seven earths. So basically multiple worlds, multiple dimensions or universes, multiverses, if you want to call it that. No, I think multiverses is redundant because multiverse already, my understanding is it already implies multiple dimensions. So not multiverses, but multiverse, my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong with the English language, not my native tongue. Let's use clear logical reasoning here. In the Quran, we know that God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is the most merciful, the most generous, the most kind creator. And He is the Lord of all the worlds, not just dunya, not just the earth, the Lord of all the worlds. all the solar systems and galaxies. So basically, and in the Quran you read about the creation of the cosmos that basically more or less mirror the basically what is described by scientists as the so-called Big Bang. And basically the creation of life, where God creates life, basically how life, uh, by and large, in some generic sense, can be described as originating from water. Basically, in the ultimate revelation, the pure truth, the noble Quran, you learn about multiple worlds, multiple cosmos, so to speak, and you read that God is the master of all of it. So, therefore, in conclusion, I argue that so-called aliens as UFOs or UFOs as aliens, any type of disclosure, are going to fall into one of maybe several categories. Basically, uh, the aliens are either jinn, the aliens are some type of angelic beings, some type of jinn, basically created by God, or they could actually, in terms of orthodox mainstream science perspectives, they could, on the alternative side, as opposed to being some interdimensional angelic being or something, or if they're demon or if they're jinn, they could simply be other orders of life created by the Supreme God. Supreme God. There is no God but Allah. They could just be simply another form of life created by God, possibly also worshiping God in some manner. They could be worshippers of God. They could be they may have understanding of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they basically kind of cliche, maybe there are other basically intelligent life, and they also worship Allah. Maybe they are Muslim. Maybe some of them are not Muslim. But uh, basically alien life could be, for example, jinn, could be maybe they could fall in the category of angels, jinn, but they could just be another life form not so different from us, created by Allah to worship Him. Basically, the extraterrestrial intelligence created by God, and not too much different from us, with technology that is either greater than ourselves or lower than ourselves, but essentially another species similar to us, created also by God, the same God. There is no God except for Allah.